Rolland from Switchbacks and Bottle Caps here. About to do a little, I call this a walk. It's starts at Lakeview Park in San Marcos. Right now it is about 5:14. This park doesn't actually open till 7. The gate's closed, so I parked outside. But whatever. Wanted to come get some more of that full moon. Was probably leaving now. Energy while I could. This is a nice little climb. Goes through some neighborhoods. It's not as wildernessy as some hikes. But hopefully I can catch a sunrise along the way or at the top. Yeah, this is my first sunrise hike, so I'll be hiking when the sun comes up. So yeah, see if I can get some shots along the way. It's pretty paved though. So we're at the top of the first incline. Fairly quickly, but fairly short. You gain some elevation. And now, I'll put this in our Google Maps, but you kind of have to follow the trail left. And it does go through some residential areas, like right in the front. So, I'm going to be fairly quiet until I get up to the water tower. And then check back in then. Alright, so just stopped to get my handheld light out. Going into the darkness. This is just outside of the neighborhood, right by the water tower. Can't see much here, but I'm doing it mostly for the audio. Turning on my light a little bit, now that we're out of the neighborhood area. So right after the water tower, it begins to climb again, pretty steeply. And from here, you'll barely get any respite till the top pretty much. It switchbacks a couple times, huge, wider switchbacks, but so I'll catch back up at the top. It is about 7:05, parked down at Discovery Lake. I am now currently at the top of Double Peaks, eating breakfast, drinking breakfast. The sun just came up right behind me. Got a quick little time lapse of it. This hike is actually a really smooth hike, and by smooth I don't mean necessarily easy. This is about a 4.5-ish, depending on which trails you take up here, mile there and back hike. It is super well maintained. The elevation gain is about 1,000 feet. I'll have to check how high it is above sea level actually. It's a really good hike. I wouldn't know if I'd call it a hike, but everything's paved. You walk through some residential areas on the way up. But the elevation is really good for people that are just starting to get on climb hikes because it's smooth, it's not technical, you don't have to worry about rocks or anything like that, loose rocks, gravel. Most of it is really well maintained all up here, all the way up. Get a couple of the views from up top. Now, the GoPro's not really good for distance, but this is facing west. The moon's still up there. That's a Carlsbad power plant in the background, looking up north to Oceanside. There's a little bird. What's up, bird? Right below us is Cal State San Marcos over there. Looking more out to Escondido. There's the sun coming up over there. There actually were a couple photographers here right at sunrise, which was pretty cool. They were taking some pictures. They were pretty friendly. Looking out to more Escondido Poway area out there. Then looking south, you could actually see kind of downtown way in the horizon. I don't know if you'll get in the video. Then looking like towards Del Mar area, Encinitas, Cardiff area, and back up to Oceanside. It's like a, what's it called? La Costa area. On a clear day, you can see Catalina Island up there, the San Bernardino Mountains. Looks like there's a little tiny bit of snow on them still. San Jacinto, Palomar Mountain, where we have been camping a couple times, and Laguna Mountain over there from our previous videos. Mount Whitney, Frank's Peak. I'm trying to learn peaks and all that stuff from up here from the top views, and I'm not that smart yet because look, on the floor here there's a map. Like I said, this is my first morning hike. I started around 5:15. The moon was out. It was pretty awesome. Little eerie, but you know I love Erie. I love Erie hikes. I like night hikes and stuff like that. It was cool to see the transition into the daytime though with this hike. Kind of being on the trails while it's still dark, kind of tucking into some parts where it wasn't moonlit. I actually didn't use my headlight as much. I had it on Firefly for a little bit, but I turned it off and mostly just used the moonlight to come mostly up the trail. I don't know, I feel like when I'm alone especially, I think when I'm alone I feel a little bit more vulnerable when I have the light on, if that makes any sense. Just coming up, I know, just kind of a weird, strange feeling coming up, like, you know, you're the only light. Kind of felt like blending in. On top of that, the actual park, at least at Discovery Lake, doesn't open till 7, and I was here pulled up around 5, so I didn't want anybody to come up, especially since I'm a colored man on the mountain carrying a flashlight. Danger. Yeah, like I said, this is a really good hike if you are looking to get some elevation training for your first time, or looking to get a pack and fill it up and see how you do coming up, climbing 1,000 feet in about, let's say, a little under 2 miles up here, maybe a little less. A lot of things I look at online, it says the mileage is a little different depending on which trail you take, obviously, but some of them have a little discrepancy. But it's a good little climb, especially if you want to fill your pack. Like I said, it's flat before you want to hit those technical terrains and rocky and all these step ups and all that kind of stuff. It's a really good smooth path. You even are actually on like a sidewalk-ish area for a while coming up here. At the very end, the last stretch of the trail, you can choose to go up the road, or you can choose to go up the pretty rigorous incline for about, I would say, 50 meters.